Spoilers for episode 1 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I'm just saying maybe I am a little bit traumatized from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Because even though A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is starting off as a nice medieval romp, experience has taught me not to trust you, HBO. The show just premiered last night, and so far it's giving good time. The girls are at the Renaissance Fair with some camping and watching shooting stars like we're back on our Animal Crossing islands during the pandemic. It was a time. A nice buddy road trip story, kind of father-son or mentor-mentee. But we're also friends and we're learning life lessons from each other along the way. It's a little too cute, a little too wholesome. I tee-heed and ha-ha a little bit too much for a Game of Thrones show, so what's the scam? Home box office Maximilian Network. That's your government name. Why are you lulling me into a false sense of security so that I trust you and fall in love with these characters? And then which one is gonna be decapitated, huh? Or eaten by a dragon? There are no dragons. Or ran through with a spear? Or have half his face chopped off because he don't know when to shut up? What are you waiting for? In the Westerosi timeline, this show takes place about 77 years after House of the Dragon and the Dance of the Dragons, and about 88 years before the events of Game of Thrones. Dragons are extinct, which means that even though there is a Targaryen sitting on the throne with no dragons, they're not really big and bad no more. They don't got it like that. So we're actually in a pretty chill time. A more peaceful era. Right out the gate, we meet Dunk, who is tall as hell. And he desires one thing more than anything else in the world: to be a knight. To find the Pirate King's treasure. To be the very best that no one ever was. My dude just wants to make it out of the proverbial hood, make a name for himself, and do good in the world as a knight. He served under Sir Arlen of Pennytree, who's dead as hell. Just passed away at the beginning of the episode. Rest his soul. There's a tournament happening in the big city or somewhere. And Dunk is like, okay, this can bring me some glory, some honor, and secure my future as a knight. So he takes Sir Arlen's shield and sword and claims that Sir Arlen knighted him before he passed away. Because any knight can knight any knight. But the problem is there was no one around to witness this knighting, so it's not enough to get him into the tournament, the tourney. And even though Dunk is constantly describing Sir Arlen as this humble dude that fought in hella wars because he was still a good fighter, none of the other lords remember him. So they can't vouch for who Sir Arlen supposedly was, and they won't vouch for Dunk getting into the tournament. They said, I do not know you, tall man, and you're not finna get in the ring and embarrass my house. So he's got to convince somebody to take a chance on him. While on his way to the tourney, he meets a little bald boy named Egg. Egg is precocious. It means he's very advanced for his age. And like most children, Egg is brutally honest. This mamaless boy tells Dunk, you are broke and busted, and I don't know how you're gonna win anything in this tourney, but you're gonna need somebody to carry your stuff and tend to your horses, and that somebody could be me. What do you have to lose, tall man? And he's not wrong. Sir Arlen was a hedge knight, so is Dunk. A hedge knight is someone that could be just as honorable and formidable as a regular knight, but no lord or house claims them. So they gotta sleep in the hedges. Broke, busted, but not beaten. So that is the buddy story that is being set up in this first episode. And yes, the tone is so much lighter than Game of Thrones, and that's good because my nervous system needs a rest. It also makes sense because not everybody in Westeros was killing each other for the throne. Like, some people were just living lives, setting goals, making love, collecting coins, trying not to die of scurvy or the plague or whatever disease was hot back then. So far, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is funny. It's not presented like a comedy. It just finds a very good balance. Like Dunk smashing his head up against doorways because he is so damn tall. The banter between Dunk and Egg, and Dunk constantly getting humble. Or any moment, any scene with Lionel Baratheon, who goes from being this very imposing, drunk, unhinged lord to this very imposing, drunk, unhinged lord that lets you wear his antler crown if you dance with him. So like... And if you're not a normal person and you need a little bit more darkness and blood and violence in your fantasy, that's fine. Don't worry, I have seen more episodes and I will not spoil anything, but blood is coming. Just you wait. I love that we are back in Westeros and that we have so many Game of Thrones projects coming out, including season 3 of House of the Dragon getting released later on this year. But we could keep getting into A Night of the Seven Kingdoms episode by episode. The episodes drop on Sundays, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next video.